Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Have You Heard? I'm Richard, and today, out of my record collection, I've picked up Peter Gabriel's third album. And because it's the weekend and I'm in a playful mood, we're going to listen to Games Without Frontiers. Obviously, very well known for Peter's first collaboration with Kate Bush. And there's lots of interesting stories that I've read up about everyone's behaviour in the studio when Kate came to visit. Apparently all the technicians and the engineers and whatever were very supportive, and whatever Kate wanted, that's what she got. And she was only, still only about 22, 21, 22 when this all happened. But she and Peter Gabriel quickly struck up a very good friendship and had huge respect for each other's musical talents and skills, and quite rightly so. Anyway, let's talk a bit about Peter. This was his third album, his third solo album. And just for a change, he called it Peter Gabriel. I'm not a huge fan of the descriptive titles Melton Car and Security and the like. I prefer just to call them 1, 2, 3 and 4. But that's me, just a little bit old-fashioned. But Games Without Frontiers was a hit in the UK. In fact, it tied with Sledgehammer as being his most successful chart placing. Number 4, I think it was. Yes, that's what my notes say. Number 4. And of course, it really, what's the word? He established himself, I suppose, as one of the cultural leaders, I think, in music in 1980 when this was released. The 25th of January 1980. So 45 years ago, coming on to 46 years ago. Let's have a listen to it now, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Okay, so here we go, on with the trusty headphones, and it's Games Without Frontiers from Peter Gabriel's third solo album, featuring Kate Bush on backing vocals.
Lottie plays with Jane. Jane plays with Willie. Willie is happy again. Suki plays with Leo. Sasha plays with Brit. Adolf builds a bonfire. Enrico plays with it. Whistling tunes, we hide in the dunes by the seaside. Whistling tunes, we're kissing baboons in the jungle. It's a knockout. If looks could kill, they probably will. In Games Without Frontiers, war without tears. If looks could kill, they probably will. In Games Without Frontiers, war without tears. Games Without Frontiers, war without tears. Andre has a red flag, Chiang Shing's is blue. They all have hills to except for Lintayu, dressing up in costumes, playing silly games, hiding out in treetops, shouting out rude names. Whistling tunes, we hide in the dunes by the seaside. Whistling tunes, we piss on the goons in the jungle. It's a knockout. If looks could kill, they probably will. In games without frontiers, war without tears. If looks could kill, they probably will. In games without frontiers, war without tears. Games without frontiers, war without tears.
There we go. Games Without Frontiers. Um, just checking my music, and it looks as if it's fine. You regular viewers will know I often have a problem. um, in fact, I'm just going to switch it off. There we go. That's better. Uh, it's an iconic vocal from Kate, isn't it? But it's an iconic song, and from an iconic album. Of course, Peter, he's he, he's got things that are on his mind when he writes songs, and this was all about war and his take on governments and leaders who treat wars as games, and don't really think about the consequences too much. And he used as his theme a British game show that became very popular in the 70s called It's a Knockout, where teams representing towns and cities would. I'm getting text messages. Um, they would get. They would play stupid, really ridiculous, outlandish games, slapstick games, and earn points. And the winners of the competitions would then go and play in Europe against winning teams from various European countries, and those games were called Jeux sans frontières, games without frontiers. So he was using that context in which to criticize the way that wars were being used. And of course, the piss on the goons in the jungle reference is a Vietnam War reference. But it's done in such an original way. And this was a sound that people in 1980 had not really heard before. It was cutting edge. And there was him on synthesizer with Larry Fast, lifelong loyal right-hand man David Rhodes on guitar, Jerry Marotta on drums, and producer Steve Lillywhite and engineer Hugh Padgham on whistles. A really unusual sound, and a song that, I mean, it sort of hooks you straight away, doesn't it? And then when you start thinking about what's going on the song, then it just goes to another level. And the album was his biggest success at the time, and was a critical success as well. Even journalists like Nick Kent, the really outspoken New Musical Express journalist who was very pro punk and pro Sex Pistols back in 76 and 77. Um, he went so far as to say by the end of the decade, this album would be considered one of the great albums of the 80s. Um, and he wasn't wrong. And it just helped Peter, I think, gain confidence and then just move on with his career. A fascinating album, and I'm sure we'll be playing more tracks from it in the future. There are only about 5 or 6 reactions on the YouTube channels to Games Without Frontiers, believe it or not, and for some of the other songs, hardly any at all. Which I can understand because it's not that it's not easy listening. It's just that it's a little bit out there, and but rewards revisiting every time. And it's my favourite Peter Gabriel solo album, and it made such an impact on me, particularly living in South Africa in 1980, and of course with Biko being the headline track on the album. And when I actually had to smuggle this album in on import from a record postal service based in Wales. And okay, it cost a little bit, but I got an import copy in the post that the naughty security police didn't pick up because it was banned. And I was living at the time in King Williamstown, which was uh, the general area from where Steve Biko was from. And I met quite a few people who knew and had worked and been associated with Steve Biko. So it was quite fascinating to hear everything from that side of the story. And of course, Peter Gabriel continued to support the struggle against apartheid South Africa, and of course was hugely supportive and became very good friends with Mandela. But that's another story, and we're not going to get into that politics right now. Um, but it's a fascinating album. So as usual, I'm going to ask you, what do you think of this particular song, and what do you think of the album? Um, I know we've got Peter Gabriel fans who watch the channel, so let's have a listen to and let's have a read of your thoughts, please. It would be much appreciated. Also, please, if you haven't subscribed yet, have a look at the playlists on the channel. We've got about 6 or 7 playlists now where you can go back and check out what we've done before. Please subscribe. Certainly like it if you like the video. And as I have said before, I read and respond to every single comment. So that would be great if you could let me know how you feel. Feedback is good. So there we are for now. That's Peter Gabriel, ably assisted by Kate Bush, and Games Without Frontiers. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Have You Heard, which will be tomorrow. So until then, cheers everybody.